Hello, I'm Julia Cordova. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. This past week, I have been thinking a lot. I was thinking about whether or not COVID was a black swan. So why was I thinking about that? I don't know. But I was thinking about it so much because it's not like we didn't know about COVID for a couple of months before the market reacted to it. So then I was like, well, if you know about something in advance, I mean, really, isn't the black swan the fact that we weren't actually cognizant of how it might affect the market, not the thing itself? I don't know. But I was thinking about that because, so much of the news is so bearish and it just doesn't matter. So, and it was the very same thing leading into COVID. So I was thinking, is this going to repeat itself? Is it going to go the opposite way, where instead of going down quickly, we go up quickly? I don't know. But then I decided I was thinking too much because I'm not a thinker in general. I'm a technical trader. So the less thinking, the better. So I'm just going to get that out of my brain and talk about charts. So for this week, when I was looking at what I think to be the highest probability trade, I believe it's an oil short. I'm already in one from last week. I shorted about 69.40 or so, and the only person I told on Twitter was Jingle because I happened to be DMing him at the time. So I probably should have said something, but I think that's the highest probability. I'll show you why when we get to the oil chart. The other ones are sort of a decision tree. If this condition, then this, if this other condition, then that. And I know that's annoying. I don't like to hear it either, but that's the way it is. That's the way trading is. Nobody's a Stocktradamus, Nostradamus of the stocks. No, not anybody is. But anyway, so with that said, let's talk charts. Ready? All right. Okay. So let's start off by looking at ES or SPX weekly futures. So this is kind of a big whoop, guys, because this pink line I've been talking about, we hadn't closed above it since 2016. And this past week, we in fact did. Now, it wasn't sort of a huge candle here, but it's still very significant. Why is it significant? Because as long as it holds that 4448, this is ES futures or SPX futures we're talking about, weekly, then it's bullish. I've got that, thumbs up there so we can all see it, right? Now, if it goes back below, then it's in rut-row territory. But specifically, if it gets below 4380 or so, which was that sort of the 4370 to 4380 level, it really used that a lot in the wicks. So that's when it's going to start to look bearish. Now, it broke out of this RSI. Actually, I think 2 weeks ago it did, or just right on the borderline. But it broke out of the RSI resistance. So guys, I was like Detective Latoya Jackson looking for bearish things on the chart this week because I was like, oh, clearly, I've still got a bearish position on that I was lucky enough to counter trade with oil. So yay me that I didn't lose my arse, but boo me for not just freaking stopping out like a normal. Anywho, I just don't see anything on the weekly that at all looks bearish as of yet. Okay, so now let's look at the daily. Okay, so we broke out of this bull flag here, we broke out of this upper channel line, and then we've just been on the go. So really, from a pattern perspective, I mean, you could say that there's RSI divergence there. Yep. But that RSI divergence could be negated as long as ES continues this up. The second it starts kind of, I don't know, then okay, it's bearish looking. But right now, it is not at all bearish looking until it gets below 4429. That's Sunday/Monday. And then, then we can talk. We can talk about bearish. But right now, unfortunately for me and whoever else is in, sort of the come on now camp, yeah, yep, it's doing the thing. See? And it can do the thing for a long time in an annoying way. So, right? Okay, let's look at Nasdaq. Okay, Nasdaq weekly has still not met my measured move, which is 15,209. But you know what it is doing in a gross way? It is doing one of those ascending triangle things. It's consolidating right below resistance. So that means that if it gets above this 15,209, it's going to be, I think, quite bullish. I mean, guys, I don't make the things, I just say them, okay? So here we broke out of this. So this is on that's the weekly over here, okay? So you can see it's it's really been consolidating and doing nothing but chop for a few weeks now. And I mean, it's gearing up towards a move one way or the other, and it could go either way, despite all of the news you read. I don't know. I don't know. We've got some RSI divergence here on the weekly, but again, it could be negated. So we have to wait until we see something down or up to move from this. Now, on the daily, we had a large triangle breakout here, and then it's just been, dare I say it, bull flagging right above this support. So we broke out of the bull flag on Friday, and the measured move of this bull flag is 15,451 on the daily. Okay, we've got a bigger measured move of 15,741 up here from breaking out of this triangle, but one at a time. Let's go one at a time. And then we've got some resistance here. So I thought sort of a logical place. You know, I don't know. I mean, it could go right down, right? But below 14,961, bearish. Okay. While it maintains this bull flag breakout, bullish. I just report the news. Okay. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin almost got to my key target here. This is sort of the line where I said it's rejected me, and it did consolidate a little bit on that line. It broke out, it came back. Back tested the line. It hasn't closed below it. So here's what I'm going to say about Bitcoin. If it closes below 44,300, I think it's going to be super bearish short term. Okay, as long as it maintains the 44,300, bulls are good. I think a nice thing it could do here is consolidate for a bit right under this key line because it's important. But we do have some consolidation here. This is one of those bull sandwich deals, right? A big green, 3 little reds, and then a big green. So so far it's just sort of back tested this big green candle, but we'll see. Again, holding 44,300, good. Above 48,480, it better hold, because that's when it's going to start to look superdy bearish, or sorry, bullish to everybody else. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum also, this is redonkulous. The only thing that if you're bullish about this, the only thing I'd sort of be like, I don't know about is only because this consolidation wasn't very much for the length of this move. All right, the length of this move is huge, and usually when you see a tiny flag after a move this big, you want it to do a little more consolidation so it can continue its up move. I'm going to say this about Ethereum. As long as it's above 3120, it is bullish to this line that's people make fun of me for, but we'll see. If it gets there, we shall see. But if it gets below this 3120, it's probably at least going to backtest this next level down, which depending on when it gets there, let's say it's 2,700 or so. Okay, so that's where we are with Ethereum. Guys, gold, silver, and GDX were super, let me just say, interesting this week. I mean, as you know, I got my video off a little bit late on last Sunday, and I'm just happy that I got it off before I saw what gold was doing, because I would have freaked out and stopped the video and started wanting to trade it. Okay, anyway, GDX made a really nice candle recovery here. It didn't quite get to our key line. One thing I noticed is that Well, all three of these, the gold miner stocks, gold and silver for the week, formed these very similar, I'm going to say dragonfly slash hammer candles. Gold was the only one that closed positively for the, from the previous week. Okay. Even though we got this nice hammer candle on GDX, and even though ES made all-time highs again and was very bullish, the gold miners was not as bullish as I would like to see. So I'm still in I don't know territory on this one. I mean, at first I was like, well, maybe it's made a higher low here, right? Because I mean, I don't know if I will buy it here, but I don't know if we want it necessarily to exactly get back to this level. We want it to sort of do a higher low. But I'm wondering if maybe this next week, well, let me just put it this way. If it gets to 33.69, I'm going to start to watch it very closely. Might get back into a super bullish position there, depending. I mean, it's gotta kind of close above that. But I mean, right now it's in nowheresville. So I will buy it lower or I will buy it higher. But I just this past week I was like, it took me off guard, and I was just like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I mean, a new short term, right? That might, if it gets, I mean, but you just longer term, you don't know. Anyway, let's look at gold. So on the gold weekly, this is big. On the gold weekly, remember I actually made this line last week and I said, as long as it holds above there, closes above there, it's good. Well, oh my goodness, gold. Did you intend to freak us out this way? But so it's held it, and that's very good news. It has weakened, however, the support by flashing so much below it. So while it is not while it is technically bullish here, I'm going to tell you that I'm relying on the key here, which is 1788.9. I want it to get above this key before I go full on short-term bullish on it. Or I'm going to watch it if it gets below the 1761 level. And that's on the weekly. So let me go ahead and look. I'll show you on the hourly here. Remember this gap that, it was sort of like I wanted it to fill sooner rather than later. It held, and then rut row, and then really rut row. So for me, just on a day-to-day basis here, the RSI and the hourly is in turbo zone. It can definitely go much higher, but I'm going to really watch if it gets there to this hourly gap, which is above this key level. That's the sort of the area that I am looking at short term for flipping back uber, like, Cordova gone wild, bullish here. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. And actually, you know what I might do though, just so we have another point of reference. Look at me with my fancy lines. I'm going to put this on the bottom here. Yeah, see how beautiful that is? I'm going to make that bigger so you can see it. Just from a technical perspective. I mean, I obviously didn't plan this out, right? I lined it up here, and here we had the perfect back test, and then once it gets below, breakdown on the hourly. So this is another line we can watch if it gets there. I can add this. I like this slope a lot, obviously. This is my favorite gold slope on the short term. So I can add a few more in here. So we can have some more pivot points during the week. There we go. Okay, so now if it does sort of start to consolidate here, I'm going to watch this slope and make sure it holds it. As long as it holds it, then yay. If it doesn't, then nay. So now we have some more data points to watch. Yay. All right, let's look at silver. So this is why I'm not more gung-ho in the short term. It recovered, it made this candle, but it didn't do what gold did. It didn't close above the end of the previous week. It's not looking that great to me at this time. I don't like it right now, honestly. So, and the RSI isn't as nice on the hourly. So I'm just going to say this, Anna, it's it's right now, it's out of this bigger weekly uptrend. Okay. And for it to be uber bullish again, it needs to get above. Let's just mark it here while we're looking. Oh, come on. I wish that, okay, here we go. It needs to get above 2506 because that's a double resistance, right? Two different trend lines, an uptrend and a downtrend. And if it gets above 2506, okay, let's saddle up because this is going up. No matter whether, yeah, okay. But in the meantime, I just don't know. We didn't get this back test. It's in outer space for me. I don't know. So, silver is twitchy. It's hard to trade if you're trading futures. It's hard to trade in any event. It's kind of okay, but that's what I'm watching. Okay, let's look at oil. Okay, this is the oil weekly chart. I added 2 new lines. What? Okay. So here's where I got them from, right? Boom, boom, and then right here. Okay. So I think even though oil made this pretty looking candle too, like I said, I started a short last week with some time frames I'm not sharing right here because I just don't have time. But anyway, as beautiful as this looks, if you look at this longer term trend line, which I back tested here, right? I've put this at multiple places and it's a really good line. Okay. It's not just that I drew it in after the fact, which I did, but it is a really good line. I think it's a really good slope. For now, oil is below it. So oil, I think, will be bullish if it gets above it, which for this week, so the top of the channel here I have drawn, which these are imperfect, right? But how great are they? Really? Let's talk. So for this week, I mean, I've got sort of a, add to shorts area here around 68.77 area. But for me, because I got a really good entry last week and already took some profit, if it gets to like 69.43 or so, then if it gets above that, I should say, then I'm gonna probably think that potentially I'm wrong. Okay, so it might, maybe I'm wrong. It's possible. It's happened before, but otherwise, another data point that we have to look at is the XOP, or the oil equities. And remember how I was talking about the fact that it couldn't get back in this channel no matter what? So last week, in addition to erring on the side of shorting ES, I did a very smart thing, which was short oil equities. And look at this candle for the week. So for now, I'm just going to say it. This chart looks like poop to me. So usually these equities are a leading indicator. I mean, look at this candle of equities in an ES all-time high situation compared to this candle of the commodity. One of them's lying. And because ES was strong last week, I think it's this one's lying, which is why I'm short both at this time. Oh boy. Okay, so if it does though, however, backtest XOP, backtest 84.56 and go higher, then I am wrong, probably, as long as it closes above there. And otherwise, I would expect it to come down here again to this 72.09 level, and let's see what happens. And then I've showed the oil chart before. I mean, I do err on the side of being I don't know if I'm erring on the side, but I'm bearish at this time until it proves me wrong. Okay. All right, let's look at Natty. Okay, Natty looked like it was going to break the F out again and then got right underneath this actually beautiful daily slope that we've been looking at. So it sort of did a double bull flag before and then up, and then it did a double bull flag and then whoops. It tried to hold it on Thursday, but it couldn't into Friday. So last week I traded actually both directions on Natty. I was very lucky to do okay on that, pretty well. But at this time, I would say that I'm looking for it to come down here to get long. Either I can get long again. I mean, people can short it. I don't know. I don't want to, only because I think it's going to go much higher. But it has so many people behind it now, and I saw people talking about it. I'm going to wait until it gets to about somewhere in this area or so before I look to go long, or I'll expand this slope. Why don't I do that now? Okay. Or, and this is daily, so it's going to change every day. If it closes above this slope, then I will say something on Twitter, and instead of putting a price marker there, because I don't know. I could put one in for on the bottom one though. So for Sunday/Monday, if you'd like to look at a place to get either short or long, wait, I wish it would snap to the line. Okay. 3.892 is the pivot to watch, in my opinion. If it shoots above and then gets lower, that would be a nice short. If it shoots above and then holds it, that would be a nice long. Okay, so that's for Sunday/Monday. I'm personally looking for here. I might trade the margins here, but why not wait, right? Because, I mean, but it's possible that this could do a head and shoulders-y thing, right? So let's keep all options open, but for now, I'm not in it at this time, but I'm looking to get long for the right setup. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think there's we'll see what happens. Okay, let's look at Joe. Okay, so Joe finally started doing the thing again where looks to me like it's consolidating, and now it's consolidating under this sort of first measured move resistance, which yay, I like that. So for this week, to maintain its bullishness, whatever it is, it needs to maintain 46.78, which was the breakout, in my opinion. And I'd like it also over 5207. If it does get over 5207 again, I'm going to want it to hold it for the week. It's going to irk me if that doesn't happen, because then it's not going to be as clear. But I still am very bullish longer term. Okay, I think there's all sorts of situations that could happen that could make this go way up. But some consolidation never scared us before. Okay, like this was scary looking, but just keep your levels in mind. Know what's going on here. This 46.78 is a good one. This is the absolute bottom of the channel. That's another good one. Because of the length of this, it's okay if it were to get there, but then it better bounce quick. Okay, that's it. Make myself big. Thank you again so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you on the interwebs. Okay, bye.